welcome back. As you can see, I'm just tying up my hair to make sure I don't get any foundation on it. And I am going to first go in with my Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. This is a really great primer for anyone who has acne-prone skin. It really just helps smooth out the skin and get your surface ready for foundation. I go ahead and I make sure I focus a lot in my T-zone because that's usually where my pores are a little bit larger, and I'm also going to really focus on my cheek because I do have one scar that is a little bit uneven in texture. So I just want to make sure that everything is going to be super baby soft so that my foundation goes on really smooth. Okay, so now that that's done, I am going to go in with a damp beauty blender and my Dream Liquid Mousse Foundation by Maybelline. I'm in the color Nude Light. And I love this foundation because it has a really natural finish. I'm going to go in with my beauty blender, and again, it is damp. And this is really important because it really just helps the foundation go right in to my skin. And I love these beauty blenders because they give such a flawless finish. There are some off-brands that I think are totally fine to use, but I'm just going to be honest, the beauty blender, even though it is a little more expensive, I think it's totally worth your money because it gives me that airbrush finish that I love. So you're just going to really just make sure you blend really all the way up to your eyes, and even when you get to your forehead, you're going to want to make sure that you go all the way up to your hairline so that you don't have a line between your hair and your forehead. You really can't blend enough with this. I can't stress that enough. The best foundation is the foundation that is just completely blended in with no areas that have been missed. And I'm going to take that all the way down my jawline, onto my neck, and just really make sure that everything is going completely seamless. And then I'm also going to focus right there on that blemish on my cheek. I'm just going to take the foundation and I am going to pat it right over that blemish just to give myself some extra coverage. Now I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind eraser, and this really just helps with my dark circles and just makes me look a lot more awake. I take that down in the shape of triangles, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go in again with my damp beauty blender, and this time I'm going to take the corner of the top of it and I'm going to go all the way up into my lash line. I'm just going to keep on bouncing that beauty blender on my skin, and it is going to blend it right into my foundation, and it's also going to create a really nice highlight. As you can see, my face just looks instantly brighter after that. I'm now going to go in with my mineral powder by Maybelline and a Eco Tools brush, and this brush just has a really dense top, and I'm just going to dip it in the powder, and I'm just going to go over that blemish that I mentioned before, and just really make sure that it's covered and that all of the foundation is locked in on that area. This is an extra step that I think really helps for people with acne. All right, now that that's covered, we are going to go in with the Rimmel Natural Bronzer, and this is in the shade 21, and it says Sunlight. And then I'm also going to go in with my e.l.f. Big Kabuki brush, and I'm just going to sweep this over my cheeks. I'm not going to do any major contouring in this video. I don't normally contour my face very much. I can do a video on how to contour if you guys would be interested. So I'm just going to do that over pretty much a pretty large area of my cheeks. I'm just trying to concentrate on where the light would naturally hit my face. And just make sure you blend a lot. Also a little bit over my nose, on my forehead, and then I like to take it just barely, whatever's excess on my chin and my neck, just to make sure everything blends together perfectly. Next, I'm going to take my Ulta blush in the color Girly, and I'm going to take a e.l.f. brush for blush. That's hard to say. And I am just going to put that on the apples of my cheeks. I'm a little bit more generous with blush. Some people might want to be a little more light-handed, but again, this is really my go-to foundation routine, and I just want to make sure that I do it as accurately as possible. So I just make sure that the blush usually stays right below my cheekbone, but also stays above the hollow parts of my cheeks. Next, I'm going to take my CoverGirl Professional Loose Powder, and this is in the color Translucent Fair, and I'm just going to set everything that I just did with my fluffy Real Techniques brush. I love this powder because it keeps me matte all day long, and it also just never looks cakey. So if you're looking for a good setting powder, you really should try this one because it's inexpensive and it gets the job done. It also doesn't cover too much, so it doesn't cover the bronzer and the blush that I just did. It just really creates a great finish. Okay, so now that that's on, I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. High Definition Powder. And this powder is awesome. I'm going to take my Beauty Blender once again, and on the top smallest part of the blender, I'm just going to put some of that loose powder on the blender, and I'm going to put this under my eyes. This is a technique called baking, and I love doing this under my eyes because it really lasts all day. It keeps my under eye from creasing, and it just gives this like perfect airbrush finish. I can't stress how much I love this technique. So you're gonna put a pretty generous amount under your eyes. So don't be afraid, just pretty much go for it. Put a lot so that you have a pretty noticeable white line underneath your eyes. All right, we're gonna wait 5 minutes, and okay, here we're back. And we waited 5 minutes for that to bake on my face. I just kind of answered some emails, drank some coffee, whatever you want to do with that 5 minutes. And then you just come in with the Real Techniques fluffy brush again, and you're just gonna wipe away all of the powder that you put under your eyes, and it's gonna leave a flawless finish. Next, I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Golden Bronzer, and I'm going to use the lightest shade in that quad, and I'm going to take a EcoTools little, it's just like a little like soft fluffy brush. It's nothing special, but I'm just going to take that and I'm going to put that highlighter right on the cheekbone. I love this palette because it's not too glittery, but it just gives me that perfect glow. There's lots of different really great highlighters. I just have had this one, and I've been really happy with it, but I totally would love suggestions if you guys have highlighters that you love. I'm going to take this down the bridge of my nose, and then I'm also going to wipe this over my Cupid's bow. The last thing that I'm going to use is my Skindinavia Makeup Finishing Spray. I love this spray, and I'm just going to spray this all over my face. This is the spray for oily skin. They have different formulas. So once that sets, my makeup is pretty much completely done, and now I'm just going to put a lip color, and I chose Revlon Matte Balm, and this one is in the color Fierce. I love these because they glide on super easily, but they do have a matte finish without over drying your lips. I also love that it has such a precise edge, and so you can really get close to the outer corners of your lips without getting makeup on the foundation that you just put on. So now that that's done, this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know if you have any questions.